Okay, let's kick this off. Hello, streamers. No, I'm a streamer. Hello, viewers. Welcome to the stream. If you're tuning in to watch Kyle and Ian play Versus System tonight, I've got some bad news. Kyle's out of town, so we're actually going to be playing some video games instead. But we told you that last week, so you should know that already. Today we'll be playing Dungeonmans, and I'm going to be flying solo. Talk a little bit about the design of this game and hopefully do a really cool broken build and show you some of the ins and outs of everything. It's a video game, bitches, that's right. So Dungeonmans is a, what do you call it, a loot grind kind of roguelike, or as I would call it, a rogue-lite. It falls into the category of a lot of those modern games where there's actually a progression from character to character, so even though the game is designed to be played with one character with permadeath, your subsequent attempts are going to get easier. But what I'm going to try to show off today is doing it with just one guy, which is something you can do if you're really familiar with this game and its mechanics. It's not too terribly hard, but I do want to open with the disclaimer that it is a good game, and if you watch me play this, you will have totally crazy insight into how to just tear this game apart, and that might reduce your enjoyment of it. So please, by all means, if you have any interest in playing this game at some point, go buy it. Don't watch me, buy it. Just stop the stream right now and go have fun. Oh, cool, ranting. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts while we play. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start a new game here, and we'll talk about things as they come up. So first things first, I'm going to make a new academy. I think I'm going to dump this guy. I'm going to found a new academy. So, two things to input here. The first is the name of the place we're invading. The name of the place we're invading is not all that important, so I'm just going to say unimportant continent. There you go. That's quite alright. And we're going to start a heroic adventure. The difference in this game between a heroic adventure and an Iron Man's adventure is Iron Man's actually enforces the rules I'll be playing with tonight, which is if you die once, the game is over forever. And it has a couple other subtle differences that make the game just a little bit harder. And I'll talk about them a little bit while we're playing. I don't know what you're typing that's censored, so yeah, but bitches is good apparently. Bitches. So, heroic adventure. Candidate's name. So this is also not important, so we're just going to say guy here, because that is a person's name, and it is also a guy that will be playing. And for my crazy broken build, the stats don't matter, so I'm just going to pick the best sum here, which I think is... let's see... it looks like this one. Is that right? I think so. Character generation. So, usually you can pick a class, and what that will do is will determine your starting gear and your starting skill loadout. But we're going to go to the Professionals Only Dungeonmans class, which is I get to pick. You also get 2 perks. We're going to go with Mad Thirsty, which is a super broken perk that lets me drink a potion every round for free. And that might actually be the secret to why I can do this one-man's run. It's very overpowered and broken. We're also going to pick World Champion, which makes more champions spawn in the world. And champions are, if you're familiar with games of this type, just beefier normal monsters. Having them spawn more frequently means they drop better loot. Importantly, they drop what's called proofs of strength, which I can turn in to improve my stats. So we're going to be using that to sort of accelerate our stat growth. And the character portrait for Guy, I'm going to pick the guy I just released. This is actually a portrait you unlock when you complete this challenge that I'm going to do today, the one-man's run. And it looks like a king with a bunch of crap, which is basically what we're going to be playing. A dude with a bunch of crap. So this is the world of Dungeonmans. You start in your academy. Headmaster says, congratulations, you're a graduate of the academy. We're going to tell you how to deal with this world. Do you want me to tell you that? I'm going to say no, I already know all this stuff. Do a quick once over the academy, show you some of the important NPCs. As you progress in the game, this chest will fill up with potions that might be useful. If you go up here, there's a wall that if you interact with, it'll give you random text and sometimes helpful game hints. If you go behind the wall, you can pick up a secret ring. On the right here we have the library. Throughout the game you can exchange books to this librarian here and he will upgrade the library. What the library does is it spawns books on your subsequent characters, so that's not going to be much use to us. Books are consumable items that actually give you skill points, which are super useful. So we'll be consuming all the books we find. Over here we have our alchemy lab. As we upgrade it, that's what actually fills up that chest with potions. This is our blacksmith. We can use him to melt down gear and make hammers that upgrade our gear. We'll be doing that a lot. This is our gravedigger. As your characters die, which hopefully will not be doing at all, this grave is going to fill up with statues of them, or I guess they're supposed to be tombstones or whatnot. And this is our trainer, who lets you exchange the proofs of strength that I mentioned earlier for your stat upgrades, so that's really important. So, pro tip, if you start as a Dungeonmans, which is the custom class, you start with no skill points assigned, so the first thing you want to do is some of that. Please don't make the mistake of not assigning a martial skill point, something that will let you equip a weapon, or a bow, or a staff, or something, because you're going to have a bad time. The class we're going to do is mostly a Wizardmans, so we're going to take all our first level skills in Wizardmans here. And that leaves us one skill point left over, which I'm going to use to wear real armor. Usually a Wizardman starts with light armor. I prefer real armor because it's actually kind of a lazier skill to equip. Also make sure you equip some stuff before you leave town. So if you start as Dungeonmans, you actually get one of everything you could possibly equip, which is kind of handy. So I'm going to put on a tin steel cuirass, my first boomstick, this ring that I got from behind the wall, and that's it. That's all we can equip for now. So I skipped over it, but you get an early mission to go get a thingy for your alchemist, and we're going to go do that now. We're going to do that by walking nearby to this convenient Scrobald Warren. So this is the world of Dungeonmans. This is kind of how it looks. And basically, we're going to be going into... Oops, we're going to avoid random encounters while I'm talking. I'll just sit still to prevent that from happening. We're going to be moving down to the right. As you move down to the right, things get progressively more and more difficult. But we're full of things like, this is our academy, the Scrobald Warren. This is a normal dungeon. We're mostly going to be doing those. Towns, stuff like that. It's up here, another town. So we're going to start in the Scrobald Warren, because there's an item here we have to return to the academy. So, as a Wizardmans, and with that Foom stick, I get this nice Bolt of Foom attack, which lets me do ranged attack in this big square, and that's mostly how I'm going to be interacting with the game throughout the whole thing. Early on, I'm going to be taking some skills to try to keep things at range, so that that's my most effective way to fight. And then later we're going to be adding some really broken skills, and it'll get kind of silly. So here, this effect, we already have a champion enemy. So this guy, Rigtork the Stab, is a champion. That's why he's got that red aura. And we're going to just shoot him a bunch. And now that he's kind of close, I'm going to use this other skill called Conjure Decoymans, which makes a decoy that he's going to start attacking instead of me. And while he's doing that, I'm going to just keep shooting him. And he'll probably die before the decoy man does. Like so. And that big heart thing is the proof of strength that I was talking about. Picked up some more crud. Usually, I don't check out what I've picked up until I go back to town and get it identified for free. Because it's early, if I see something drop that I really want to equip, I'm going to be doing that. And I like to very thoroughly explore dungeons, so I'm going to be checking the map a lot and moving around till everything is revealed, even though that's really unnecessary. Whoops. Where is Chris? I thought he'd be by. And this is a humorous game, like the writing is all funny, so you get interesting creatures like crab rats. Very weak dungeon enemies. Of course, these are the scrollbolds. I think there's 5 varieties of them. Slime molds, or green slime. So another thing I should comment on is probably just leveled up. So our build plan does not actually spend any skill points at this level. We are saving up for these 2, which both require level 3, so we'll be spending our points on that next level. But I wanted to comment on the way I'm actually moving in this game. The movement is a little awkward. You move with the number pad or the arrow keys. And I use the arrow keys because the numbers also access your quick bar skills here too. So I move with the arrow keys, meaning if I need to move diagonally, which is possible, I use the mouse. So I'm going to be moving cardinal directions with the keyboard and then diagonally with the mouse. The other thing is you might notice my movement's a little stilted, and that's on purpose. I can hold the buttons down and move really fast, but I want to be able to react quickly if something's approaching and I'm not prepared for it. So I tend to take a step and pause ever so briefly just to give me that extra reaction time if I need it. As you've seen so far, sometimes I still run into things accidentally. But basically this build wants to keep things at range, so I'm going to try to do that as much as possible. Almost done with this floor. I think that's everything. So let's go down. You'll notice that scrollbolt had a little particle effect. As you change floors, if you leave enemies hanging around, they recover their health. So, can't change floors to escape things, or not continue to fight them and escape them. So let's see, I got a new type of scrollbolt here. Soldier. A little tougher. He can block. Thankfully, you can't block magic. And a Dagger Fang Cave Flapper. I actually haven't paid attention to a lot of these names, so I might be chuckling at them as we go. Boy, they're everywhere. Let's throw one of these guys out. So I got surrounded there. Not quite surrounded. Lots of dudes about. Hey! That's what I'm looking for. Oops. A better foom stick. So I can This game is also very buggy, and I'm absolutely going to take care or advantage of some of the bugs. Not really exploity ones, but one of the bugs is as you acquire things, they're sort of described in these vague terms like a jade green flask or a scroll of whatever that is. And you need to actually expend scrolls of identify to figure out what your stuff is, or as I said before, you can take it back to town. However, if you use the context menu, you can use an identify scroll without actually knowing what it is. So, I'm going to identify that thing we just got, which is a two-handed weapon. That's the tab I want. This guy. So, again, funny item names. My starter gear is called My First Foom Stick. Foom is the name of like magic in this universe. And the slightly better version is a Prance Elf Limp Caster. But as you can see, it has much better spell power and some kind of enchantment. So let's see what kind of enchantment we got. 1d3 fire damage. That's going to be really great. So we'll just put that on. Right on. I think they're going to go down much faster now. Oh boy, that's not good. That is a champion caster. So I'm gonna pop another decoy man's and hopefully keep him distracted. They can heal, as well as have an annoyingly potent ranged attack. And he's dead. Easy peasy so far. We're doing just fine. I say that because I've done the one-man's run several times now, both in the adventure mode or whatever, and in the Iron Man's mode. But it can go south really fast. You only get one shot, so if I make a mistake, I get in over my head, that could be the end of our run. But hopefully I won't do that. Alright, level up. Good timing. So we're going to take Rhombus of Rhyme, which is a very useful skill, and Gift Exchange, which is not a very useful skill, but it's a prerequisite for the skills we truly want, which are these two right here. Rhombus of Rhyme, here I'll just show you what it does, even though this is not a good time for it. It freezes and debuffs enemies, so this guy has lower armor now, or resistances, or something like that, and he can't move. That's a terrible enemy to do it to because he's got a ranged attack, but it does it in a big AoE, so it's useful for crowd control. Probably won't use it very much, honestly, but occasionally. Enemies have to line up well for it to be useful too. Hey! Pants! We need some pants. We're gonna put these pants on. Because I only have real armor, the skill, I can only equip, you know, heavy metallic armor like this. So that's why I haven't been throwing any of this other stuff on. More pants. Don't need more pants. Still more pants. This must be the pants floor. everywhere? Kind of looks like it. Alright. To down more! So this should be the last floor of the Scrollbold Warren. It has a fixed length of 3 floors. Most dungeons in this game have only 3 or 4 floors. You'll see the orange question marks pop up over my head. That means I passed some dungeoneering skill to get some more information about my environment. And that one basically just said, hey, there's champions around. Which is true because this floor has a boss. It might also mean there are additional champions around. Ah. You do also automatically trigger a melee attack when you run into things, which is why I'm running into the bots. And occasionally enemies, if they're weak enough. This floor is loaded with monsters, more than I expected. They just keep coming. Okay, that guy is a Scrollbold Berserker. I'm going to pop another Decoymans because they have a rush attack that does a lot of physical damage, which is not what I want to deal with as a caster type. We'll just distract him for a minute. Oops! I triggered the boss fight, which means there's another champion Scrollbold Berserker over here to my right somewhere. There he is. So let's pop one of these Decoymans like here to keep him distracted. We're gonna shoot crap at him. Hopefully these walls will be in the way enough that he won't find his way over to me. Ah, he's dead. Easy enough. Whenever you beat a champion, you say something badass. Yay, another great victory for the Academy. Yeah! Alright. Got his proof of strength. That's the encoded defibrillator, which apparently is what we were sent here to recover, which will upgrade our what is it? Alchemy station or whatever. Ugh. Yikes. So we'll turn that in a second. I know, still exploring. Unnecessary. I will be very obsessively exploring. That's how I play these games. You threw a rock at Chris. I hope he's okay. Could be. I think he was playing Final Fantasy XIV, right? That sounds like a good way to do that. See, the secret is if you use Discord, I know what you're up to. If you enable the integrations. Oh, another champion. Oops. Let's Decoymans. That's a good number of champions for this starter zone. So this is proof of, purloined inventory. Occasionally enemies will drop that and go to some particular zones that will make it more likely to drop. And that you can take to town, return to towns to improve their prosperity, which lets them sell better gear for cheaper and stuff like that. And if you're the first Dungeonmans to max out a town's prosperity, they'll build a statue of you. And that statue lasts forever, so that's kind of cool. We just got some useful boots, so I'm going to put those on. Not necessarily useful, but, you know, of the variety that I can put on. Since we had no boots, now we have boots. Oh, these are Terra boots. That's the starter gear heavy armor boots name. That's okay. I know he was a terrible friend. I think I got everything over here. Just need to... Oh! I'm done! Haha! I was at the end. Didn't even realize it. Now I gotta walk back. Hi, Chris. That's okay. We haven't gone very far yet. If you're lost, though, just feel free to ask some questions. We're already level 3. And done with the starter dungeon. Oh, what I was just saying is most enemies are placed in the levels, but there's also random spawns. So that's why, as I'm walking back over to where I was, I'm getting assailed by these annoying scrowballs en masse. Oh, we're going to use our other skill. I didn't show this off yet. So this is Lava Lance. Really useful for a situation like the one I'm in right now. What this is going to do is this is going to deal damage in a straight line in a cardinal direction, push back, and create a burn effect in an adjacent square. So I'm going to fire this right like this, and that's going to suck for these guys. See? And then this guy's pushed back, and I can shoot him, and then if he didn't die, he'd walk into the fire, and it's just bad. I can walk into the fire too, so it does slow me down a little bit. Alright, so, still more spawns. When you beat a boss, you do get a quick exit, which is what that glowing blue circle thing is. You jump in there and, wow, level 4! We're doing this really well. Yeah, their AI is really simple. I think that's part of the point. You're supposed to exploit how dumb everything is. So as I said, we're building towards these skills, which require level 6. And we want both of them at level 6. But since we just reached level 4, I can spend this point on something before we get there, and that what I'm going to spend it on is in the School of Liberally Forbidden Arts, which is the Necromancer class. I spend it on the terrible basics of necromancy. And what that does is, I'm not going to equip it, but that does, it makes enemies spawn what they call dead pulses, and I haven't killed anybody, so you'll see that when I kill something next, which added to, I got a dead pulse bar when I spent that, so this will fill up with dead pulses, and I'm only going to use them for anything till level 8. But once I'm level 8, I'm going to get some skills that I can spend these guys on. So the other cool thing I want to tell you, or show you, is if you see at the top of the screen here, up here, where it says Unimportant Continent, which is what we named this continent, and Trivial. That's the difficulty of the area I am based on how far east and how far south I am, and it also means the difficulty of the dungeons I would enter. So this regular dungeon is a trivial dungeon. The cool thing about trivial dungeons in this game is you could just pop them. Yes, Chris, I explained that earlier. I can use the number pad to move, but you can also use it for your quick bar skills. So I'm actually doing that. So I'm actually using the arrow keys to move and moving diagonally with the mouse, which I don't need to do actually very often. So that kind of works out for me. So we're going to pop this. We're going to say, hey, this dungeon's too easy. Yeah, let's destroy it. Rah! All this stuff falls out, and you get a bunch of free stuff. Pretty cool. We're going to poke around for... There's probably a few more of those nearby. Yeah. So this is adventurous. That's not going to work. These are not dungeons. This is technically a dungeon. This is a... What do you call it? That's a showdown, I think. That's like a thief encampment blockading a road. But we don't care about them. We're not going to be doing those at all. Yep. Pop this guy. Is this also trivial? Ooh, we got a lot. Ooh, we got a book! We got a book. Books are the best. Intro to martial exchanges. I'm going to learn that skill, which I think is that just lets me equip a weapon. Yep. Now I can equip one-handed weapons, but I'm not going to, because the stabs are way better. You do not get experience for popping them. Just a little bit of loot. Ow! They're everywhere! I'm worried that means there's not going to be a lot down and to the right where we're going next. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, we're mundane. I think that's everything. This was not... Oh, that was adventurous. Alright. So we're going to go back to town, and a lot of things are going to happen while we're there. So first things first, we're going to come back and we're going to see the headmaster of the academy, and we're going to say, hey, we brought you some stuff. So that turns in our proofs of strength. That turns in our encoded defibrillator, which was the thing we were looking for, which is in a moment going to actually regenerate this entire academy with cooler parts. And that's just saying that's going to happen. So, that happened. We have a bigger academy. Over here, the alchemist got an assistant. You can talk to her, and she's like, hey, thank you for bringing the stuff. The chest got a bunch of crap in it. We're going to take the crap in the chest. And further secret, every time your academy respawns, so does the secret ring. So now I have 2 of them. I'll put that on. The next thing we're going to do is going to say, please identify all my stuff, because I got a lot of it. And I'm going to take a minute or so here and look through and see what I want to equip of all the stuff I got. Alright, magical terror boots, that's good. This is actually better than the one we have equipped. So I'm going to equip that limp caster, and I'm going to lock this one for reasons that will be clear in a moment. So yeah, just to sort of explain how I'm comparing things here. So the stats here, the difference between these two, the spell power is identical. The word just below the top word in the sort of display here on the left is the type of damage it does. Star damage is the best, so we don't need to really worry about damage types for a while. So they both add 1d3 damage. One is fire, one is cold. Still, they're kind of comparable at this point. But the one I equipped, sometimes that sets enemies alight. That means it does a small damage over time effect to them. Sometimes. So we'll be using that. Nothing in the two-handed weapons I want. Let's see. Do I have a scroll of Eat Curse? So, as you saw, as I was clicking through here, some of these items that are magic are actually cursed, which make things, you know, worse and whatnot. But they have this scroll called Eat Curse, which I'm going to cast right now. That actually deals you some damage, but it uncurses all your gear. Now, why would you want to do that? Occasionally, when you consume a curse with Eat Curse, increases your max hit points permanently, forever. So we're done with the gear. We're going to talk to the armory. We're going to say, hey, I don't want any of this stuff. So I'm going to tell them to melt down all of my unlocked gear. And what that does is it gives me, in this case, tin steel, but this is resources I can use for cool stuff later. So we're just going to bank those. I'll be doing that a lot too. Sort of the same order this I'll be doing every time. Headmaster, that guy, and we're going to go see the trainer here, which is how I cash in the proofs of strength. So we're going to just put everything up until it gets expensive. That's all we can do for now. So, bin 16 across the board, 18 in science. Yep, that's our new stats. And we go back out and find another dungeon. We're going to go into a more interesting dungeon now. We'll go over here to that adventurous one we saw earlier. So I'm going to try to stick to adventurous dungeons the whole way. Adventurous dungeons are approximately leveled to my level, which means they're always a little bit challenging and always a little bit rewarding, and that's what you want. There's an occasional difficulty spike, but hopefully we are building our build in such a way that it won't matter, and we'll find out. So this is going to be our first normal dungeon, and most of the dungeons we do, possibly all of the dungeons we do, are going to be like this. Prisolo's Labyrinth. So these are actually truly kind of randomly generated dungeons, and this one has... these are like... what do you call them? Sort of British thugs are some of the low levels in this game. You can see she said wanker there when I killed her. Oh, and those green things, these are the dead pulses. These guys have... not only they have ranged attacks, but they have burn effects for an area over time. Wow, there's lots of these guys. And these ladies with the chains can move you around, and they're really annoying. Yep, Foom is magic. Yep, that's right, Chris. You got it. So that was a secret door. I knew that was there because of the, as I said, the orange question marks that popped over my head meant I passed a dungeon roll of some sort. I actually didn't see what the text was, but I guessed it was a secret door that was nearby. So we found some wells. We're going to drink from the wells. That one poisoned me. That one summoned a creature for me, an ally. That one improved my skills by 1 forever. Permanent stat increase. That's awesome. And that one killed my resists, which is not good. So hopefully this poison's not going to kill us. Actually, we're going to deal with the poison, because it looks like it might. We're going to deal with the poison by... drinking an antidote. Sure. Oh, maybe it doesn't affect pool poison. Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Oops, a bee spawned behind us. Surprise, bee. A big-assed bee. A dead-assed bee. So this is where it gets kind of annoying because, again, I don't spend the dead pulses yet. So they're going to spawn forever, and they're just going to clutter everywhere. Splotch horror. They time out pretty fast, but still. Ah! That was a mistake. But we're going to use our fire thing to keep this guy at bay. He just died. Yeah. And that's useful. That's more armor that we don't have a slot for yet, or we don't have anything in the slot yet. Bandage shoulder poncho. We'll put that on. So my little summon dude is fighting that lady over there. Oops. Looks like he lost, or perhaps just timed out. So this is a useful thing, historical artifact. We're going to turn that in next at the Academy, and what that's going to do is that's going to unlock our museum. The museum is useful because it lets us collect lore about enemies, and as we collect more lore, we learn more detailed information. Holy cow! That's a lot of dudes. This might be a good time to use our Rhombus of Rhyme on them. So they are all now held. Ah, I started a flame effect in a place where I can't get line of sight to it. Boosted. A little nervous making. Just keep poking them in this corner here and see how that goes. Thankfully they don't have very much hit points. Alright. Thugs dealt with. There's a nice opportunity for this guy again. So these snakes, dirt snakes, occasionally move twice in one round. Yeah, soccer hooligans. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I couldn't think of the word before. You gotta deal with the snakes really fast. Or they will rush you and deal lots of damage. And that's really annoying. Ah! See? He moved and attacked the same round. And again, I'm probably making this look like super easy, but I really know what I'm doing, and there is a lot of caution involved here. Hey, better pants. Let's put on the better pants. So, the way gear works in this game is there's actually, like, depending on how you do your accounting, 5 or 6 major tiers of gear. Yeah, it is pretty useful. It's going to stop one-shotting things pretty soon. So, hopefully I'll get a gear upgrade to help with that. So, really right now, I started with, you start with, like, starter gear, which is crap gear. I'm kind of full up now on the tier 1 gear, so I'm really just looking for tier 2 gear, which is going to start dropping soon. Those pants were tier 2 gear. And the thing I need more than anything is a staff, a tier 2 staff. That's the important next upgrade. I was over there. There was nothing. So we'll go downstairs. Where is downstairs? I'm disoriented. There's downstairs. There's no champions on this floor. That's rare if you take that one perk that I took. These guys are annoying because they have high defense and a rush attack, so I might just toss a little decoy man's there to distract him for a little. Oh, and they throw you around, too. They have a rush attack that throws you. Gelatinous cubes. Just lots of hit points. Ah! Archers, who shoot when they see you and cause terrible bleed effects, and I hate them. see a room that I can't get to. I bet there's a teleporter there. To there. Oops. Champion B. This could be a little sticky. We'll do another Decoymans here. Somewhere where I can still hit him. So there. I'm actually going to debuff him too with the rhombus. Then he doesn't move. I can shoot him. Oh, that wasn't too bad. More proofs of strength, and he had a chest, which is just bunches of stuff. Bandits. Not too bad. They swap positions with you with one of their attacks. Probably going to give a word or two about the interesting attacks, unique attacks of each enemy I encounter. So if you saw that orange effect there, that was the sets enemy alight. Useful minor damage tick. Whoops. Ninjas can boost themselves and have a rush attack that hits everything in between. I like that. But usually they just walk up to you and boost themselves, and by then they're dead. So that's a tier 2 sword. So we're on the right track. Ooh, tier 2 chest armor and an annoying dude that just hit me. Alright, we'll put that on right away. I think we got a hat. Or do I just see a hat? I see a hat. I'm going to take that hat. That is another slot that I don't have filled. Hats don't have armor type. You can wear any kind of hat. The hat we got was probably not a useful one. It's 3% reduced mana cost for powers. Alright. We'll take it. Another bee. That's a champion. Stupid champion bees. Thank God Decoymans is so effective. That everywhere. Alright. Down more. So, there is a little rhyme to the way that... Uh-oh. I don't love this. The way I'm exploring here, and that is... I'm on the 3rd floor now, which means the boss of the floor might be here. And the boss is always in a room that you enter from the left. So I'm going to be moving left first, because I know that's likely to be away from the boss. But as I said, ooh, casters, these guys are annoying. They deal high damage at range, and they can give a burn effect. They can also push you back. Like so. And boost enemies against projectiles, although I'm not actually using projectiles, I'm using magic. I don't know if it actually provides a boost against my skills. Man! That's a tough area. Oh, I see. See, the difficulty is dangerous. That's one higher than I'd like to be in right now. But it means I'm getting good experience and loot and stuff. Oh, I was saying the regular dungeons are either 3 or 4 floors long, so it might be an extra floor here. Friggin' archer. Oh, what do I do here? I walk here and get shot? Probably. Yeah, it was the right choice. Who knew? Where's that dude? Oh, surprise! Oh! Alright, let's do... Man, that's a start. We'll burn them. I'm a little worried on I have a bleed effect. I'm gonna fix the bleed effect. So Chris, you missed the character generation, but I did take a perk that lets me drink a potion free every round, as a free action every round. So kind of way broken. I'm using it to fix this bleed effect. Maybe, if I have something that fixes a bleed effect. Well, actually I don't, so I'm going to take a healing potion, which is kind of like fixing the bleed effect. All of the potions of this game are effects over time. There's no just recover a bunch of life or anything. Makes for an interesting strategic experience. There's a few ways to work around that, but they are uncommon. Ah, it's a champion, but it's a builder bee. These guys... Oh, it doesn't tell you what type they are, but I can tell from his look. Builder bees just make little walls like this. They attack occasionally, but I don't even feel like I need to distract this guy. Bees. This is the bee room. Alright. I picked up something I was interested in. What was it? Fight gauntlets. I don't have gloves equipped, but these are just for reducing the armor of enemies I attack, so they're not useful for me. I'll stick them on anyway, just to have one. So, I don't cast a lot, but the way magic works in this game now, since a recent patch, is the amount of magic you have is actually based on the number of points you've spent in the Wizardman's tree. So I've spent enough to get 80 mana, and it doesn't recover on its own. It only recovers when you attack with Bolt of Foom. So that's a little bit strategic too. Kind of interesting. Anyway, we gained a level. But again, we're saving up for these two, which happen at 6, so we're not going to spend that point yet. Let's see, I'm going... it could be anywhere. I'm going up first. Oh, champion wizard. That is not good. Save me, decoy mans. You fall for another decoy man's? Probably not. You're smart. Ha! He did. Decoy mans usually don't work twice. And I think they're guaranteed not to work twice if the enemy kills them. Like, if an enemy sees a decoy man being destroyed, another decoy man won't work on him. Stupid bees. That's a lot of bees. Why are there so many bees? Why am I so injured? I keep an eye on my life here. Oh, this is a 4-floor dungeon. That's actually going to be a little risky, especially because it was our first one. So both these are charge enemies. I'm going to use the hold you in place skill. So that I don't have to deal with them. Whoops. Ah. You do also recover life over time, like most roguelikes. But I don't like sitting still. It's boring. So I rush and sometimes get into trouble for that. Lizardmen are awful. Awful, awful. Lizardmen captains can haste people. Any enemy. He just hasted himself, so he's gonna hit me here. But if there are other enemies around, he would haste them also. That's super annoying. Haste, of course, being they get to attack twice around. Where did you go? There you are. Okay, to floor 4, where we might meet our end, because 4th floor in our first dungeon is a little scary. We'll see. We you know, if I get in trouble, I could retreat. Let's see. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a champion potion, which actually boosts my defense a little bit and heals me. It also boosts my stats a little bit. For 10 rounds, I think? So I'm going to drink that with our free action. And let's see if I can freeze 2 of these guys. That's not super useful. So I'll make a Dungeonmans like here. Let's see if I can pull some off me. And fry this guy. That worked okay. This is 1 down. I'm trying to get rid of the captain before he hastes everybody. So you can see now how this gets a little interesting if you're not cautious. Alright, now I can use this to keep these guys at bay. So let me get rid of you first. So that wasn't too bad. We survived. I would really like a better staff. Please. I get to custom order my loot here. That's what I want. So I see a chest, which means there's a champion around here somewhere. There is. I don't believe there's a carry limit. I've certainly never encountered it. There's the champion. You're the champion. Go after this Dungeonmans champion. Oh, you're the champion who's hasted! Oh, this is bad for me. Alright, well, let's keep hitting him. I'm not at the right angle to hit those guys with multiple things. And this didn't work? Or it did? Okay. That's good. So they killed the Dungeonmans. Meaning a Dungeonmans is not going to work on them. I think I can kill this champion before the freeze effect wears off. And the other guys won't be so bad. That wasn't my fire. That's an orphan particle effect. Particle effects get left behind a lot in this game. Sometimes it's confusing. Tougher bandit guy. Brigand. Another champion. Shoot. And behind him is a captain. Oh, but he's already hasted, so he won't do that again for a little bit. The champion won't be hasted. So we can use his decoy-mans on him. Probably distract him till we kill him. One can only hope. This is going to be a lucrative dungeon. Ah! So these winged snakes are always hasted. They always get 2 attacks. They don't have very many hit points, but if you don't deal with them fast, they can really mess you up. Oh, crap. This guy is really messing me up. So I'm going to maybe take another champion potion? Well, we'll play it cautiously. Alright, he's down. That was unnecessary, it turns out. Although walking into this group of things was not a good experience, so I'm glad that champion potion's still active. There we go, that's a better staff. That's going to be super useful. It's not magical, so we might not switch right away, but when I get back to town, I'm probably going to be using that. We will start to delve into enchanting, which is really nice. Ah! Please don't kill me. I don't have many champion potions left. This is why I didn't want to do a 4-floor dungeon yet. I'll be walking a little more cautiously. See, the reason the 4-floor dungeon is bad is because I haven't traded in more proofs of strength for stats yet. So I'm really close to starter stats. So even though my cautious play and some of the skills I've selected might keep me alive, shucks. So these guys are lizardmen brutes. They hurl boulders at you. You don't want to get hit by those. They're bad. Fortunately, they're dumb, so you can usually keep them busy with a decoy mans. I shouldn't have put it so close, though, because the melee attacks... Shucks. Well, let's see what this does. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. There's somebody here I don't know. Hello, somebody. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Am I out of champion potions? That would be bad. I'm in trouble. Oh, no, here it is. Alright. We're gonna drink our last champion potion. I might need to do a retreat here. This is not going well. My get close to leveling, that would sort of change the calculus too. What was that? 88 experience for killing that guy, and I need 1200 to level. Well, you know, there's no shame in exercising the better part of valor. So, we're gonna go back out of this dungeon and trade in some of our proofs of strength and stuff. The answer is we get shot by archers and bleed a lot. It will save me one hit, that's true. I don't think to do it all the time, though. Alright, back out. So we're gonna get our gear ID'd and equip some stuff and trade some proofs of strength. And we'll go finish that dungeon. Not beyond me, but just being cautious. Okay, so hey, we got relics too, again. We got that thing that I said would unlock the museum. So again, every time the academy respawns, you get more of this ring, but I don't ever need more of that ring. And the museum is over here on the left side. And as I collect information on monsters, there are going to be like statues here with information about them. And you can ask him about the stuff. This guy will also collect relics for you. And relics are things that you can use to get gear to start off with subsequent Dungeonmans, but hopefully we're not going to be doing any of that. Once again, I'm not hip to your lingo. Help me with KDM. What are we doing with that? Identifying stuff. So, more rings. I don't want any of these. Got more cursed stuff, so we'll eat it. Nom nom. Oh, right. Does it matter if anybody watches? Alright, so that's an enchanted version of what I'm wearing, but not a very good one. It's probably the best one. Better boots. Yeah, I'll take the armor over the dodge and the poison resists. We're gonna... let's see, so next we could upgrade our staff to either this frosty cold damage Bone Fist Cane or this redoubt rod. Bone Fist Cane does more damage, the redoubt rod actually does damage resist for me. And we choose between cold and dread. One of the problems with cold is you get to a point in the mid-game where a lot of stuff is resistant to cold, so I'm wary of going all in on this, even though it's more power. I'll certainly be getting more quickly. So we'll start with the redoubt rod. Let's see if I have any enchant scrolls. I do. I have 3 scrolls of bolster weapon and 3 of bolster armor. And I also have a fortify armor. So one of the cool things that makes this game kind of broken is you can use these scrolls. Oops, obviously not that. You can use the scroll of bolster weapon on your weapon, and it gives it a minor enchantment. And then you can do it again. You can do it a couple of times per weapon, depending on the weapon's tier. So this weapon, as you see in the upper right here, has 2 stars, meaning I can do it twice. So I just added cold damage and fire damage to that, and that's probably going to be better for a little while, so we'll stick with that. Let's see if there's anything else we want to deal with right now. We didn't get any books that I didn't notice, it looks like, so I'm going to lock that other Bonefist gain. I'm actually going to unlock the Limcaster, so I don't care about it anymore. We're going to ask this guy to melt it all down. Oops, did I not do it? There it goes. So just to show you what we're doing that for is later I'm going to be spending that to purchase upgrade hammer. So as I melt things down, I sort of collect these enchantments, and I can spend the resources that they're melt down into to get a hammer that's a one-time use item that will enchant a weapon or piece of armor. So that's really useful late game for sort of balancing out your resists, because you kind of want a lot of resist to everything, and if you're relying on random drops, it doesn't work out too well. Alright, let's spend our point. Wait a minute. I thought I had some proofs of strength. What happened? Oh, it's blocking my exit. Did I not turn those in? Did I not collect any? Oh, he got confused because I got the other thing. Yeah, it's like that. Now, the description says, I haven't done it, but the description says you can use a hammer on an item more than once, but it will probably destroy the item. So I've never done that, but maybe that's like pro strats there. So just talking about how I'm building my stats for this build, it's mostly going to be strength and foom. Strength is melee damage boost and hit points. I'm not going to be doing much melee, but you always need hit points. Pretty much however you build your character, you want to put a lot of stats into strength. Foom is straight magic damage, which is good for my build. Skills is range damage. I don't care about that. Skills also affects dodge, but I don't care much about that either. So I'm probably not ever going to put another point in skills. Science affects your potion effects, and it also affects your resists. So I'm going to put a few more points into science, but not too many. But I'm mostly going to be focusing on strength and foom. I'm trying to keep those kind of balanced. That's sort of what I'm building. Oh, and if you try to leave the academy with unspent mastery points, it reminds you that you still have a mastery or your skill points. But as I said before, we're saving those points for something, for really reals, so I'm going to spend it right away. So we're going to go back. I think that should be plenty to make this a totally masterable dungeon now. We'll see if I eat those words. We should be doing much more damage, and actually probably taking much less damage. And even so, we have like 30 more hit points to deal with it. So that's good. Glad to help. my. Let's throw another decoy mans into this mix. Oh, I put him right next to him again. It's always not what you want to do. He seems to be not attacking it anyway. Alright, so this is, I can tell from the layout, this region is where the boss is. So I'm actually going to finish exploring up here before we go in there. And I know that this area is pretty safe, stuff like that. And as I said, you can tell it's the boss chamber because you always enter from the left, and it always has kind of a large layout with some columns in it like that. So it's easy to identify once you know what you're looking for. Up next to these guys. See, I'm taking so much less damage now, it's kind of silly. Oh, 2 casters. Ow. Fortunately, the casters will try to get at range to you, so I don't know if you noticed that guy sort of got close and then backed off there. They will waste some turns trying to do that. Alright, not next to him, right here, where he will ranged attack, but not melee attack. He's hitting me anyway, maybe he can't see it from there. Whatever. Oh, another one. There we go. That was the situation I wanted to create. Didn't work before though. These guys have so many hit points. Mysterious ring, that's going to be helpful. There we go. So, this is where the game gets kind of silly, now that we've finally reached 6, and we get to unlock these two, well, one very useful skill and one very broken skill. The very useful skill is Big Bamf, and that lets me do a teleport. That lets me get out of a pinch. I will start spending the Necromancer stuff in 1 level, 2 really. 8 is when I start spending it a lot. So yeah, Big Bamf is a teleport. Lets me get out of trouble, but it has a really long recharge. Still, it's pretty useful. It does a pin effect, which is a hold effect in an area around where you teleport from. And this skill is the super broken skill. This is called Shard Storm. And what that does is this Bolt of Foom that I've been attacking everybody with, this lets me spend all my mana to build up a pool that will just attack automatically every round. So I'm going to be using this here on out to basically attack twice as fast. And if I'm in a pinch, I can also retreat while attacking. It basically just makes this game really super easy. But let me see if I got the right ring to facilitate with that. I'm going to identify it. No, it's a Berserker Red. So I'm going to be looking for a different type of ring, even though these starter rings are really useful. And I think it's something about casting or caster ring, but what it does is actually recovers mana per turn. So because I'm going to be expending all of my mana on the Shard Storm on occasion, it's helpful to have some regen to keep it stocked. So let me show you what it's like. We're going to go Shard Storm, and then see, I automatically attack this guy, and then I target him with my attack, and the Shard Storm attacks him again. So it's just like crazy broken forever. But until I get the mana regen, I kind of still have to manage my mana a little bit. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to do that now. Double attacks again. Oftentimes, once I've got the mana regen in place, you'll see me just cast it before I open any door, so that I can get the drop on whatever might be behind the door. Really is a very silly skill. Was a tough guy. So I haven't been here. That's nothing. And that's the boss room. You see, like, this is the column I was talking about, so you can start to pick these out as you explore. Ooh, secret. What kind of secret? More pools. Let's see what we get. Another ally. That will be useful for the boss. Bonus experience? I've never gotten that one before. That's interesting. And champion monsters. That's not good. But we can use that to show off our big Bamf skill. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Probably like that. So I'll just teleport here. And those guys are pinned, so I don't have to worry about them for a while. Aw, he just hasted everybody, though. That's not good. But I'll get to my Shard Storm, and then I'll shoot everybody a whole bunch, and it won't matter. And I'll even throw a Decoy Man's in here. Oh, it's a champion brute. That's not good. He's not going to deal me a lot of damage, but he's going to have a lot of hit points. Ah, and a snake showed up. Gosh darn it. We're not having any luck today. Alright, we got him. Ooh, he dropped a book too. That book is Halos and Reach. Haha, get it? That'll give me a point in the Bannerman's skill tree, which lets me equip spears, but I'm not going to use that either. Oh, another ally! Good timing. Alright, that's everywhere. Let's take on this boss. See if we can get him in 38 rounds because of the experience boost. That should be easy because of the Shard Storm. See? So silly! I don't know why that skill is so overpowered. I'm even shooting things while I'm walking around, and it just makes the game so much easier. It's not a freebie still. I have to pay attention, but it helps a lot. Alright, so that's our first dungeon complete. Let's see if we can find some trivial stuff to pop. Here's one. Another book! Oh boy. That's unfortunate. That would actually give us a skill in a tree we've already maxed out. So I might actually turn that book in. Yeah, costs all your mana. Oh yeah, well look. I can't do it on the overworld. It does. The trick is Bolt of Foom recovers mana, including those cast by Shard Storm. So, if I cast Shard Storm, it immediately will recover 10 with the first attack if something's in range, and then as I attack adjacent enemies or nearby enemies, and it also attacks nearby enemies, it recovers your mana very fast. So it's kind of crazy. Oh, so see, we're starting to get into the different dungeon types. This is a graveyard, which is a really cool dungeon, but I'm not going to be playing in this playthrough because there's sometimes an exploit you can trigger in there, and I don't want to accidentally do that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I told you I'm making a broken build to show you how silly this game is. Yeah, that's mundane, that won't work. This looks like a trivial one. Okay, so I'm glad this happened. And it's not relevant here because I could probably walk around and get there, but sometimes there's stuff that's inaccessible on the overworld, and the designers of this game actually thought of a way to work around that, so you can use the context menu in the overworld, and if it's a place you should be able to get to, you can just say go here, and you'll just pop there. So, quick shortcuts through mountains and stuff if you don't want to muck around with finding the paths through them. Very convenient. More stuff in the chest. More rings I don't need. More curses to eat. Still no life from that. Let's see if I have anything useful. I still didn't find that ring. That's unfortunate. That will help. That's a better so I don't know what these +1 things on the gear are. So I'm wearing a banded shoulder poncho, and this is a banded shoulder poncho +1. The stats are exactly the same. The comparison, which is the red and blue numbers on the right, says it's better, but I don't know why. I'm still going to put it on. Let's see. This is what I like. I don't care for the reduced mana cost. I prefer increased health. We're going to wear that. What do these do? Well, they're better than what we've got. Alright, well, we're in pretty good shape. What do you guys think? Should we do another dungeon tonight? It's about 10 o'clock my time. I'm game. They usually take about 45 minutes. Or we could call it. The thing I should note about calling it is I don't know what I'm going to... Whoops, I said no skills. I don't know what I'm going to stream next. As I said at the beginning, I'm doing this because Kyle's not around. So I can continue to do it when Kyle's not around, but it might be a very long time between streams. Alright, well, I'll keep going. If you can stick with me. We can do another quick dungeon. Air quotes quick dungeon. I mean, I do have the broken skills now, so they'll go a little faster. So we'll just keep going right. Again, not gonna do the graveyard. That's mundane. That's also mundane. Ooh, that is in the upper right here. I'm not gonna walk over there because the random encounters get worse as you move down to the right too. There might be some I can't escape from, but this is a tower, and these dungeons are so super rewarding. So we're gonna do all the towers we come across. I'm just not gonna do this one yet, because you do need to be a little tougher to deal with the towers. So just hit a random encounter, I can't escape. So there are random encounters in this game. They just put you in the middle of a field with a bunch of enemies. You can basically just walk out of the field, but you're usually surrounded when you start, so I'm just going to kill a few things and then walk out of the field. There's a variant that you encounter in the mountains, which is kind of silly because it actually starts you on the edge of the map. And you could walk into the map and fight a bunch of stuff, or you can just walk off the map, which is what I always do. Again, we're going to use our, use our shortcut here. Mundane. Come on, show me a dungeon. Mundane, come on. Shucks. That caster just blew everybody across the field. Get a little overexcited there. Darn it. Almost got off. Where are my dungeons? Alright, well we're not going to do a dangerous dungeon, so we'll keep looking. There's something just beyond this graveyard I could do. Boy, we don't have any options here, do we? Well, I'm really not going to do the graveyard. So what I could do is I could enter that tower, which I think is an adventurous tower, and not finish it, because towers actually have really tough bosses at the end. And I'm not ready for a tower boss. Tower boss? Tower boss. But I am ready to clear tower floors up to a boss, so maybe that's a good way to sort of prep. Get those last couple of levels. For the record, I'm working to get to level 8 before I sort of progress the story. Oh, it's a dangerous tower. Ah, screw it. You only live once, right? Quite literally in this game. Ha ha ha! So towers always have the same layouts. They're a little bit tough, but not unmanageable. Stupid archers. But as you can see, because this is a dangerous dungeon, I'm getting tons of experience. So this will probably accelerate us really well. I just gotta be a little careful. The champions are gonna be able to mess me up a little bit. The other thing that's cool about Shardstorm is it picks out where your enemies are. So if you don't know... Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. You will shoot towards them even if you can't see them sometimes. Two champions! Crazy! Well, let's do that again. So these enemies, the necromancers, are kind of tough. They make these poison clouds that poison you for a lot of damage over time if you don't have good poison resists. You have to be careful about them. And the tougher versions actually summon really, really potent golems, which are no bueno. Alright. I really wish I were level 7. That would help a lot. Let's do Decoymans. Oh boy. Let's drink a potion. I can't see him. Shucks. There he is. Time for a big bamf. Playing with fire here. That's fun. Another champion. Everybody's champions. These guys are fun. They're called Trixonometrics. They do interesting things, like conjure their own Decoymans. They also swap status effects with you. So, see? Decoymans. Which wreak havoc on the Shardstorm. But it doesn't matter. The Decoymans actually give you experience, so killing them is good. Alright. So this fancy looking thing is one of those artifacts I told you about, so I can turn that in the academy, and then were I to die, my next hero could then collect it or exchange it for gear. That's a good way to power up your heroes in the subsequent playthroughs. Alright. Actually, I don't have very much mana. I have to be careful about that. Without those rings, this Shardstorm is expensive. I think I'm starting to get tier 3 gear, so we're going to be okay soon. Just waiting for this poison gas to clear. You can tell which enemies are Decoymans if you didn't want to fight them, because they don't move. So like that's one. Like I'm dancing around and it doesn't do anything. Okay. So we're going to get us some necromancy now. We're going to get Raise Emotionally, which we're mostly not going to use. We're going to use it this level only. And next level we're going to have better skills. But hey, boop, there's Emotionally. And they cost 2 dead pulses. And when they die in a burst of poison. But they're going to tank for us for a while. Now we don't have to use Decoymans as much. Because we have a tank that fights back. But we have to be aware of keeping our, what do you call it, dead pulses full. I forgot to mention, Necromancer characters, these guys, even regular ones, not necessarily champions, they can also detonate dead pulses. So you can see here I'm using the secondary broken version of Shardstorm by walking away from while continuing to attack a character. Now these gas clouds wreak havoc on summoned enemies, so I usually like to keep them as far away from them as I can, because AI does not perceive area of effect damage at all, so I'll just walk right through it until it's dead. Uh-oh. Let's drink a potion. Maybe a healing potion too. Do we need that yet? Nah, we'll stick to one. Now we're doing 8 shard storms. Pop another mostly. You are not by your monsters. Although in most other cases, your effects are, effects you create affect you as well. Oh geez, 2 champions. Have another mostly. And a Decoymans. We'll do both. So I don't know if you noticed, but I mentioned that once I unlock the museum, you start collecting info per type on enemies. And if you see, now that I'm highlighting this guy, I've collected enough information that I can see their hit points and a little blurb about them. So I know exactly how far from death they are. Another book! To sever and deflect. I think that's shield. That's going to give us... Actually, that's a warrior skill. Shield Rush. Which, again, we will not ever use. But it's cool to have skill points. There are Steam... What do you call them? Not trophies. Are they called trophies? Achievements? Whatever. For having lots of skill points with the same character. And you do that by getting the books. Oh, I have no mana. I think there's one for 20, 30, and 40 skills. Yeah. So you trade the books in to the library, and it upgrades the library. But you need to trade in many, many books to get any reward from that. And the reward is, when you start a new hero, there are some books that spawn in the library. So you can start with extra skill points that way. Also, if your hero is high enough level, when he dies, I think that number is 10, there's a chance he'll come back as a ghost instructor at the academy. And he will teach you skills that you had when that hero died. You can also choose to retire a living hero and automatically have him become an instructor. So if you were trying to do the single heroes run, which I'm doing now, with one hero, the actual rules to get the achievement are you can't die. So you can use the retirement abilities to boost subsequent heroes without actually losing your hero. There's actually 3 ways you can retire, but one of them is becoming an instructor. Yep. Okay, so momentarily it will be very obvious why towers are really great. So this floor of the tower is a treasure room, and you can exchange the keys you get. You'll always get a key for coming in here to open one of these doors. These doors are full of treasure. And also, when you kill the champions inside, they drop more keys, so you can open the other doors too. Come in here and there's like a hajillion gold. I don't use gold for anything, but it's not useless. Buying things is useful sometimes, especially enchant scrolls, for example. You should buy all of those you find. Potions of combat blinking, really useful. Or not potions, scrolls. That type of stuff. So lots of money for me. More money than I need. You can actually buy books. They're rare to find, and they cost like 5,000 gold, I think, to start. But you can use that to boost your character's skills. And yes, that guy just walked through this door. As I said, this game's a little buggy. So much money. So I wasn't counting, but a moment ago I had 700 gold, now I have 1,200, so that's why towers are... you always go in the towers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now we can do a biff. Okay, so now that I've looted all the treasure rooms, were I to go up the next set of stairs, I would face the boss of the tower. Now, I'm already in a dangerous floor, and I'm a little under-leveled for this, so we're not going to do that right now. We will come back to this tower, and we'll beat him up later. Tower bosses are actually... it's pretty cool. They're Dungeonmans classes themed, so each one has a skill set like a Dungeonmans class. They're really powerful and really difficult, actually. But when you kill them, they drop gear that you can only get by killing them, and that gear is the tier 6 gear, the best class gear for the character class that they represent. So like the fighter guy will drop the best fighter weapon, or the herald guy will drop the best spear and shield and stuff like that. There is a caster guy, and we're going to hope we run into him because I'm playing a caster build, but I've played through this game, I think, 3 times recently and haven't seen the caster, so he's one of the rarer ones. I hope he's still in the game. I don't even know. But he's got a really cool staff. Alright, so turned in our stuff, identified some things. I'll show you over here. We have some info about monsters and bandits. And that'll fill out as we kill more things. So I think I'm going to probably check up my gear, spend my proofs of strength, and then call it a night. So we did 2 dungeons and part of a tower. That's really fast. I don't think I've ever been in a tower after only doing 2 dungeons. So we're making good time through this game. We'll keep at it. And you guys let me know if this is really interesting to you. I don't have to wait until Kyle's not around to do this. I can do this at any time. During the week, for example. Boy, I might not have gotten anything useful out of that. How about a cool... No? Nothing? Nothing? I don't even get to eat any curses. I will turn in this book, though, in the library. Which you do for the headmaster. Hey, here's a book, headmaster. Oh, it upgraded the academy. So I guess the first tier is 1 book. Oops. And if you go over here into the library, you'll see it got a little bigger. And you can look at all these shelves, and there's like little funny jokes when you look at the shelves. But you don't get stuff until it's fully maxed out, which is, I think, maybe 10 books or so. It's a lot of books. More books than you want to give up. Just picked up another one of those rings I don't need. I forgot to melt my gear down, didn't I? Melt the gear down. Yep, got lots of stuff, which I'll spend later. And then we'll do the strength. Yep, Tomb Raider. It's a funny game. That's why I encourage people, you know, go check it out. It's definitely worth your time. I'll put a point into science. I'll put 2 points into science. There you go. Alright, that's a good stopping point. We'll pick up and we'll maybe go after, I don't know, another tower next time? We'll figure it out. But, that's Dungeonmans. Thanks for watching.